In recent issues of Marvel Comics' Amazing Spider-Man series, the publisher has returned to a long dormant storyline where Mary Jane's Aunt Anna was recently admitted into Ravencroft after the anti-mutant group known as Orcus managed to sabotage their drugs. In addition to so much subtext going on in the background of the Amazing Spider-Man's plotting, this issue also details a return to the foreboding Sinister Six. My name is Ariko Brannock, and today, let's go ahead and preview the Amazing Spider-Man's 46th issue. Before we get deeper into the video, I want to encourage you to consider subscribing to the channel. Spidey is cleaning up the mess that is his life after some of the most harrowing conflicts of his life. Electro isn't going to wait for Spidey to figure his problems out, though. A dangling plot thread from earlier in the run that you thought was still dangling starts to pull the sweater apart. So Amazing Spider-Man issue 46 is still written over from Zeb Wells, featuring yet another round of guest artwork over from Carmen Carnero. In addition, we have colors from Marcio Menyz, letters from VC's Joe Caramagna, and the cover per usual on The Amazing Spider-Man is coming in from John Romita Jr., Scott Hanna, and Marcio Menyz. So I find this cover to capture an interesting look over for Electro as he begins to resurface along with other Sinister Six members across Amazing Spider-Man's 46th issue here. I also wanted to highlight this issue's guest art coming in from Carmen Carnero, who's returning from the 45th issue of the series. Once again, it was such a joy to see some of Carnero's artwork. I've been such a big fan of hers from other Marvel Comics series like Captain America, and really find that some of her tense facial expressions are just a great outlook over for these Sinister Six characters that the publisher is looking to bring back in towards recent continuity. Now, another element of this really greatly written scene over from Zeb Wells that really manages to capture my interest is the introduction of the mysterious Electro featured really prominently on the next page. The way that Carmen Carnero is able to manage some of these page transitions from Zeb Wells and just feature such tense and foreboding looks across our villains does a great job implementing this disparate narrative thread in the pages of Amazing Spider-Man 46. The Amazing Spider-Man 46 beautifully transitions from that fascinating scene with the Sinister Six to a more intimate moment involving Peter Parker and his love life. I've been really interested to see the way Zeb Wells has been juggling some of Peter's relationships and really thought that Peter's previous relationship with the Black Cat was going to be a much stronger force in his run on Spider-Man. However, in this issue, we get to see Peter's relationship develop with the character of Michelle. Also, the way that Zeb Wells is able to transition this really interesting sequence between Peter and Tombstone's lawyer into some of his interactions with Jackpot or Mary Jane is just a great way to transition this book and to keep so many of those themes intact throughout the narrative. One of my favorite parts about Marvel Comics' Amazing Spider-Man 46 is the seamless way that author Zeb Wells is able to juggle between different plot threads within the narrative. At one point, readers are working with Peter Parker and Mary Jane, and in the very next sequence, they transition really smoothly into Ravencroft to detail some of the next instances with these Sinister Six characters and storylines. Also, the way that the character of Aunt Anna really nicely fits into this narrative along with some of the other residents over at Ravencroft just builds up so much intrigue towards this narrative, and once again just delivers some additional subtext towards the Amazing Spider-Man that has made this series so captivating for so many previous issues. So at the end of the day here, I think Marvel Comics' Amazing Spider-Man 46 is a really nice and intimate issue of the series focused on fleshing out some of the disparate elements of Peter Parker's life. There is such a beautiful rendition of a page from Carmen Carnero where the character of Flint Marko is once again embracing some of his powers in the issue. I want to know from you, did you like Amazing Spider-Man 46? What are some of your thoughts on this issue trying to pick up the pieces of Marvel's Gang War? Also, I'm curious to hear what you think about some of Carmen Carnero's excellent artwork seen throughout this issue. Thank you so much for coming to check out our review on Amazing Spider-Man 46, and we'll be back to see wherever This comic book is headed towards issue 50. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.